one email, just 5 bullet points, asking, "What did you get done last week?" landed in every one of the federal workers' inboxes. Some of them hate the email, some of them love it. Is this the start of something sinister, or is this the start to a new beginning? Let's find out. According to Musk, this email aligns with Trump's initiatives to streamline government efficiency and to reduce redundancy in our federal workforce. This has been a huge agenda in the Trump administration. And I'm not just making that up. This is something that Trump even stated himself.
You're talking about the last email that was sent where he wanted to know what you did this week. You know why he wanted that, by the way? I thought it was great because we have people that don't show up to work and nobody even knows if they work for the government. So by asking the question, tell us what you did this week, what he's doing is saying, are you actually working? And then if you don't answer, like you're sort of semi-fired or you're fired, because a lot of people are not answering because they don't even exist. They're trying to find, that's how badly various parts of our government were run by, and especially by this last group. So what they're doing is they're trying to find out who's working for the government. Are we paying other people that aren't working? And, you know, where is all that? Where's the money gone? We have found hundreds of billions of dollars of fraud so far.
As you seen in the video, Donald Trump was asked a question about the email in a press briefing. But what makes this email such a big deal? Why did this email spark so much outrage and so much controversy? Some people love the email, some people hate it. There have been so many videos going around online with federal workers sprouting outrage, disdain, embarrassment of this email, saying that they cannot believe that DJT and Elon Musk asked him this question, calling it unreasonable and chaotic.
First, just tell us about this email and what it was like receiving it and what you all have talked about after getting it.
Sure. I got this email Saturday afternoon, about 3 p.m., and I felt absolutely infuriated getting this email with a demand within 48 hours to provide a response on what I did within the last week or face termination. This is clearly an attempt from Elon Musk to harass and bully and intimidate the federal workforce, which is part of his broader plan to gut the federal workforce and privatize public sector services to ensure that corporations like his own can get more profit. And that makes me really angry, and my coworkers as well.
But it's not even over yet. The controversy continues to escalate, even as we progress further and further away from the email. Even one of the largest federal unions had to say this to Elon Musk on Twitter, and I quote, "It is cruel and disrespectful to hundreds of thousands of veterans who are wearing their second uniform in the civil service to be forced to justify their job duties to this out-of-touch, privileged, unelected billionaire who has never performed one single hour of public service in his entire life." But honestly, maybe all this is possibly just an overreaction, and the right is not having it at all. Look at how they're responding back to federal employees or left-leaning media sources that oppose the email.
At the end of the day, this is just insane. And the email that he's asking people to respond to as a boss, you have reviews for your employees. What are you doing? What are your job tasks every single day? What are the things that you need? What are the things you're not getting? Holding them accountable. The fact that we can't ask people to take 30 seconds to answer an email without appearing draconian is absurd. It's absurd.
But it doesn't just stop there. You may think, maybe only conservative news sources or conservative pundits oppose the email. But no, that's not the case. There are videos and voiceovers of federal employees who support the email, claiming that the email gives them a chance to voice their accomplishments and possibly expose lazy coworkers.
I got the email, and I honestly feel like this is a great opportunity to outline what you as an employee bring to the company, bring to the federal government. And if it's really good what you outline, they could give you an opportunity to get a promotion or something. Like, God forbid they ask you what you've done. Any other job, they'll ask you at the end of the week, at the end of the month, because I used to do bookkeeping. Okay, so what did we do, at the end of the month? What are the clients that we have to geared towards to. So at the end of the day, God forbid anybody make any, and it's this democratic thing. It's like, I don't want to get the parties into it, but they don't want to go to work. They want to work from home. People are not working from home. This is what you signed up for. If you don't like it, resign.
If you guys don't know, the video that was just shown was a highlight of a federal employee calling into the Breakfast Club, a morning show, talking about how they responded when they received the email, saying it only took them a few minutes to respond, and they have no problem with the email, saying that it will even possibly lead to a promotion at their workforce. Because at the end of the day, 5 bullet points to them only took 5 minutes to write out because they've accomplished a lot at their job, and they have no problem in the public sector voicing out what they've accomplished every single week. And when they go to work, they don't just horse around all day playing Tetris and Fruit Ninja at their desk when they're supposed to be at Zoom meetings. They're actually doing work. That's what they said.
Today I responded to the email that we received as federal employees asking us to report 5 things that we accomplished last week. I'm not worried about my 5 things. I have plenty of things to report. I did plenty of work last week. But the feeling of just absolute existential dread that I felt typing out a response to that email is something that I wish I could convey to everyone, because it felt like such a glimpse into the reality that they are trying to create, and it was terrifying. It felt like, you will do what I say or else. The email that we received did not say that failure to respond would be taken as a resignation, but the post on X did say that, and leadership at my agency is pretty much like, the email's authentic, but we don't know if the threat is or is not. We are going to respond, but kind of left it up to each of us to decide what to do.
However, some people don't believe that. There have been evidence of people saying that the email is examples of abuse and that they feel disdain from going into work. All in all, trying to phrase the email as abuse seems to be the new left-leaning trope that they've created, saying that the email will cause duress, a chaotic work environment, so on and so forth. But as we all know, the executive branch has notoriously faced scrutiny over inefficiencies and financial hardships. A few notable examples include, the VHA, the Veterans Health Administration, saying that some patients have unfortunately passed away due to the excruciatingly long times it took to receive medical care. This is an unacceptable thing to happen. Even saying that there's been a cover-up, saying that the VHA has began to falsify records in order to mask the amount of deaths that were taking place. Another example is the Social Security Administration, saying that they've been having operational inefficiencies and saying that they've been running on autopilot, it seemed, for the past almost decade, although they have an $800 million budget. So the reason I'm bringing this up is to highlight that these emails and these initiatives from DJT and the Trump administration when it comes to DOGE and saying, what did you get done last week, are not coming out of nowhere.
Abusive of federal workers, and it is just plain wrong.
And it's random. It's abusive.
It's random.
It's abusive.
Yes, I do. I do think that. I think the way that they are. Yeah, I think the way that they are treating them.
Why? How is this abusive?
Scott, have you ever gotten an email from someone that said you better do this or else you're going to resign?
Yeah, it's called having a boss in the private sector.
From someone who's not your boss.
The White House is every federal worker's boss. That's number one.
Elon Musk is not anybody.
Scott, how is Elon going to evaluate? I mean, how is he going to evaluate the work of thousands of federal employees when he has no idea what
he's
they do?
He's not. The test was, are you even paying attention to your email? Are you even at your terminal?
Some federal workers, he sent it on a weekend. Some federal workers do not have access to their emails on the weekends. They just don't.
Did they go to work today? I mean, look, the amount of outrage, melting down, and sort of outpouring of emotion over this ought to tell you everything you need to know. We had a lady on CNN today, a supposed federal worker, who said she was infuriated by getting this email. She had time to go on CNN, but she didn't have time to send a 30-second email saying, well, here's what I was working on last week. This is what people in the private sector have come to hate about how they view the public sector. And I think there's a great many very dedicated public servants. But you said, it's about control. Yes, it's about control, and it's about finding out who is actually at their job working and who isn't, and do we...
In response to the email, some federal agencies did tell their employees not to immediately respond, citing possible security concerns and procedural concerns. An example in this case would be the Department of Defense, who posted a memo regarding how they should not respond immediately. However, Pete Hegseth did eventually come around to tell the DoD employees that it was okay to respond. In this instance, it does make sense to not respond immediately if you're getting a heads up from whoever your supervisor or boss is saying, do not respond immediately. I will not tell people how to react or how to respond, but guys, it's an email. But anyways, let me know what you all think about this. And if you have any concerns, comment down below. My name is LFR JoJo, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.